We've been lucky to have Nate Olson with us from Scorebook Live all season long on Tuesdays. Nate, I had to Friday night I'm at dinner in Baton Rouge, sitting next to Gino Bell, and his son plays for Bentonville West, and he's got the game on his phone. And I'm glancing over every once in a while. It's like, oh, look, it's 7-7. They're hanging with Northside for a while, and then slowly and steadily and surely, as the meal continued, like, okay. And I was going to say, Gino put the phone away for a moment, and I was that turned out to be a pretty ugly one, didn't it?
Yeah, Northside rolls big in this one, and just showed how dominant they are with their two running backs, Sunquist Church, and they both of them ran for over 100 yards, and we knew that they're capable of beating a good team because when they're on like that, they're hard to stop. I mean, they went toe to toe with Bryant, and it was into the fourth quarter. Bryant gets a goal line stop, but could have been a 6-point game there. So their big thing is putting together an entire game. But the same thing with Conway. They had them beat, and Conway scores with 20 seconds left to beat them. So I thought they would win that game. Bentonville West goes in with a 3-game losing streak, and now 4, and hung with them for a while. I mean, they're a gritty team, but Northside has big guys in the trenches, and the great running game. Walker Gustavus, the quarterback. I mean, they're a good team. They're playing in a really tough league. And I think if you put them in the West, that's a different story. I mean, I think they contend, for maybe that second spot with Bentonville. I mean, they're that good, but now they get a tough draw of playing at Bryan again. But I think if you're a Northside fan, you should be encouraged because that first game, that was one of the first teams in Arkansas that played with them. And, yes, Bryant won by a couple of touchdowns, but it was close in the fourth quarter. And I think they can do it again. I think if Ty Massey and Sunquist Church, if they both of them are eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark. I mean, they're the two best running backs in the state probably, because if they're on a team by themselves, they're both running for about 2,000 yards. So if they can get the run game going, Bryant has been, susceptible to some mistakes the last couple of weeks. They had to dig themselves out of a hole and beat Conway. Didn't look particularly sharp against North Little Rock. This is the playoffs. It is at home. But I think Northside has a fighting chance in this game. If they can play their brand of football, get those backs going. And I think it was really important for them to dominate Bentonville West because I think sometimes the bye is a misnomer. It can help you if you're hurt and you're trying to nurse injuries. But kids want to play on Friday night, and it's the routine of playing. And so I think the fact that they played on the road, won on the road in decisive fashion, going into this game with Bryant, they should be full of a lot of confidence.
I'll keep it in the 7A here for this next one. I know Cabot ran right over Springdale Harbor last week, but now they get Fayetteville, and Fayetteville's been hot. They've got the bye, they got the home game, everything, kind of pointing really good here for the Bulldogs to move forward.
Yeah, and I talked to somebody this week that's close to the Fayetteville program, and they said that they've actually been preparing for Cabot for a while because they were pretty sure that Cabot would beat Harbor. Of course, they're familiar with Harbor playing them before, so they have done a lot of preparation for Cabot. And the name that this person mentioned was Braden Jay, and that's who everybody mentions when they talk about Cabot. He's going to Harding University. He is a smallish slot back, running back, do everything, kind of Swiss Army knife for them, and he lines up all over the place. So the big thing with him is you need to know where he is because he can get the ball in a variety of different ways. They're going to throw it to him. They're going to send him, around the end on a reverse, kind of do what the Chiefs do with Tyreek Hill and allow that motion and all that kind of stuff. He's very fast, elusive. So he's a guy you need to keep, track of. Their quarterback, Grant Freeman, is a good player. He's emerged throughout the year to make some good passes, and the running game as a whole isn't bad. The thing that would concern me a little bit if I'm a Fayetteville fan is Cabot probably hasn't played their best game, and maybe that Harbor game was one of the best ones, and they haven't played as well against better teams, but they went up last year and beat Bentonville at Bentonville and really shocked the Tigers. So I think Fayetteville has their full attention. They know that Cabot can play with them, but I think the thing that Fayetteville has that is going to allow them probably to get to the state championship game is this passing game with Isaiah Satenya and Bladen Fike, the quarterback. You've got a blue-chip, world-class track star who is on the same page with his quarterback. Fike has improved immensely. You can read a takeout story on him on Thursday about how he's battled back from, making the miscue, kneeling on the ball last year, to becoming one of the better quarterbacks in the state. He has a D1 offer now from Middle Tennessee. So that's why I would give Fayetteville the advantage here, because I think that they have the advantage in the secondary on Cabot. But Cabot's got a good D-line. They're going to put pressure on Fike. But I think with the new offensive coordinator, Jay Wilkinson, they've shown that they can adjust the coverages in game, that Fike can call audibles at the line of scrimmage. They're confident in doing that. That probably gives them an advantage here. But definitely Cabot's a dangerous team, and a team that you may not want to see knocking on your door this time of year.
Staying in the 7A division, Bentonville, you just brought up Fayetteville Cabot versus Bentonville last year, and Bentonville will host North Little Rock, and they've been described to me a lot of times as a team that does a lot of good things, but doesn't do anything specifically great. How do you see North Little Rock at Bentonville turning out this week?
Man, this is going to be strength on strength. I saw North Little Rock play against Harbor a little bit. I saw them play against Conway, and they got completely dismantled. Conway's defense is tenacious. They're not all that big, but they swarm to the ball. Their quickness kind of overwhelmed North Little Rock. Then I saw North Little Rock play Bryant, and they came out like they were shot out of a cannon. And then those big guys really hit the Bryant linemen and kind of stunned them a little bit. Bryant had to recover to win that ball game. But that's going to be North Little Rock's strength. Is, I talked to Bladen Fike, and he said, man, their defensive line was good. They beat them 14-7, North Little Rock did. He said, we had a hard time with our linemen containing them. They got to me a lot. And so that's what a lot of people say. They've got Braxton Johnson, who is a bowling ball, 6 foot 302, can move very well for a big guy on the D-line. He'll be inside. He'll be on the end and gets a lot of pressure on the quarterback. He's finally probably healthy, been nursing a leg injury. So that's what makes them dangerous, Drew, is that they are very good in the trenches, and they'll grind out a 14-7, 21-14 type game and be content with running the football. Malachi Gober is a improving quarterback, making some throws. I think for them to get to the state championship, he's going to have a magnificent performance to where he is a difference maker, throwing for, probably more than 200 yards or so, because teams can concentrate on that run game. But they have done a good job this year of instituting that run game to smash mouth, and on defense, really controlling the line of scrimmage. So this is going to be, I think this is going to be one of the games of the week, or the top game probably, and will come down to the fourth quarter, I think.
Dropping down to 6A, Greenwood will be hosting Mountain Home the second time this year. How does the rematch round 2 go? Does it go Greenwood's way for the second time, or does Mountain Home get the upset?
I think so. I think Greenwood wins it again. They're more healthy than they were when they won 31-7. Hunter Houston's back. Interior linemen are back. Javon Williamson is subbed in at running back and done a good job. A lot of people like them to win the whole thing. That's the kind of reputation Greenwood has. You don't want to play them in the postseason. They beat Lake Hamilton for 35-0 in the regular season finale to get the number 2 seed. They had to win that game by more than 3. It's tough winning there. Mountain Home, though, you've got to give it to them. Brady Barnett, 25-yard touchdown run that seals a win at Sylvan Hills. That's a good Sylvan Hills team coming out of the East. They beat them, and Barnett moved from the defensive backfield to quarterback midway through the season. It's been a great move. He's run and passed for about 700-800 each. So he's done a great job. Steve Airy changing the culture at Mountain Home. I don't think they can get it done here. But the last 2 years, they won at Pine Bluff 24-20. Now they've won this game. Things are moving in the right direction. It probably won't end well on Friday night, but you never know. I mean, the thing about them is they're going to come down there ready to play. They're going to come ready to play. They'll try keeping it on the ground probably again, and Greenwood's going to have to stop Arnett, and they probably will be able to. But I like the way the program in Mountain Home is going. It's progressing, and they're getting better and better.
Nate, I know Arkansas and Northern Iowa basketball tomorrow. You got a connection to this UNI Panthers basketball program.
Yeah.
So I don't know who you'd be rooting for. You don't have to, admit anything here, but you know these guys pretty well.
I do. Well, my mom went to school there, and then my friend that I went to college with at Northwest Missouri State, Colin McDonough, was the SID there for 10 or 11 years. So every year I went to Missouri State and watched them play and got to know Ben Jacobson, the coach. I think, even if I didn't know him, I think he's one of the better college coaches in the country with what they did with the Kansas upset, beat Texas A&M. Beat Texas, lost to Texas A&M, and one of the craziest finishes I've ever seen, but had them on the ropes. But I like the way they play. They're very fundamental. They shoot the three well. Usually have a good big man. I think this is a team that could give Arkansas a run for their money because they don't do a lot of things to hurt themselves. They've got a couple of guys that can score and shoot the ball. And so if they're on, they play good defense, and they're a tough team to beat. And they've played at some of the tougher venues around the country. They play a really tough non-conference schedule. But I know Bud Walton will be hostile tomorrow night. It should be a good crowd there. And this will be a game, I think, that will be entertaining for the fans. I think it should be a close game. But Jacobson's a very underrated coach. He's very good, brings in kids that are solid guys, and makes them better players, and that's been a good recipe for success for him.
Yeah, 4-time MVC Coach of the Year, 15 years there, and wins over 2 number 1 teams and a Sweet 16 appearance. Pretty good for Northern Iowa. Nate, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you, man. Have a great rest of the week.
We're back, and better than ever, a new web interface to start the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV 50 to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, and baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.